Video footage has circulated in social media showing motorcycle assault group of Russian army in the front line. In the video, Russian soldiers name the regions that they each have been conscripted from and pledge that they will win the war against Ukraine. They say, "Hello," to viewers. Russian army has been increasingly using motorbikes and quads in the past year in an effort to evade Ukrainian drones. According to the study of the Institute of War, Russia's use of motorcycles is in response to Ukrainian drone strikes against Russian armored vehicles and the unsustainable armored vehicle losses that Russian forces suffered in late 2023 and 2024. However, motorcycles' use has not proven to be successful for Russian army and often leads to disastrous results as a large number of motorcyclists continue to be killed by Ukrainian drones and landmines.
Амурка наш.
Привет, солнечной Бурятии, 60-е подразделение.
О!
Комсомольск на Амуре, привет.
Синий, ну тебя второй.
Вот Тайна, привет.
Вот он, живой еще.
Турма Сила, Омск, привет.
По-любому нахуй.
Амурка, свободная, здоровья и процветания.
А, земляк мой нахуй, ёбаный рот.
Город Улан-Удэ, привет.
Алтайский край, Алтайский район, привет всем.
Тюменская область, город Тюмень, салам алейкум. Симферопольский район, село Огромное, привет, победа будет за нами.
Сретенский район, всем привет.
Город Улан-Удэ, Шишковка, всем
А,
привет.
он тоже живой еще.
Победа будет за нами. Город Регион, всем привет, победа будет за нами.
Да, плюс, все, мужики, красавчики, победа будет за нами.
Russians have likely resumed use of the railway line of the illegally constructed Crimean bridge and are transporting fuel, which is currently in short supply in Crimea, to the peninsula. This opinion was expressed by Ukrainian Navy spokesman, Captain 3rd Rank Dmitry Pletenchuk, during a telethon broadcast. According to him, there are currently two main problems in Crimea: fuel and water. There are plenty of complications there actually. Recently, information emerged, which I can't yet confirm, that they've started using the Crimean bridge specifically for the purpose of transferring fuel, Pletenchuk said. He explained that this is due to damage to the railway in the temporarily occupied part of southern Ukraine. According to the military man, it is now known that at least the civilian population of the peninsula is experiencing fuel shortages. Of course, the military doesn't get its fuel from space either, and accordingly, this could affect those directly involved and the units carrying out their missions. Therefore, the first problem is, of course, fuel. The second problem, of course, is water. Another dry summer is also affecting not only agriculture but also everyday life. Furthermore, explosions occur periodically in Crimea. Of course, these explosions occur at military facilities, says a Navy representative. According to Pletenchuk, the Crimean bridge is critically important for the Kremlin, not so much in terms of infrastructure as it is ideological. He added that in addition to being a transportation hub, the bridge also has an energy supply. He added that there are no collateral damage to civilians during such explosions. As reported, Petro Andriushchenko, head of the Center for the Study of the Occupation of Ukraine, reported that Russian occupiers have resumed the transfer of military cargo via the Crimean Bridge railway line, which has long been inactive due to previous damage. According to Andriushchenko, the transportation began due to problems with communication through the temporarily occupied part of the Zaporizhia region, where the railway has been out of service for over a month. Andriushchenko explains that transportation across the Crimean Bridge began due to problems with communication through the temporarily occupied part of the Zaporizhia region. Due to the railway line through the occupied Zaporizhia region being out of service for over a month, the Russians are forced to return the bridge to military use. This once again turns it not just into a totem, but a military target, the center's director noted. In these circumstances, the Ukrainian military targets the bridge. Ukraine has turned the Zaporizhia theatre into a dual battlefield, one of open combat and another of covert sabotage. Deep behind Russian lines, partisan networks are actively disrupting command, logistics, and elite units, creating a persistent threat that extends far beyond the front line, according to RFU News media outlet. It is noted that by targeting headquarters, depots, and key personnel, these operations force Russian commanders to constantly adjust plans, divert resources, and redeploy troops defensively. Local intelligence and support networks multiply the impact of small teams, enabling strikes that far exceed their size. The psychological effect of these actions, coupled with tangible losses of officers and equipment, slows Russian operational tempo and undermines confidence across the occupied region. As conventional Ukrainian forces engage at the line, partisans ensure that Russia cannot consolidate gains or reinforce positions without significant risk. RFU News says, recently partisans from the Atesh resistance movement have blown up railway tracks leading to an aircraft plant producing missiles and drones in Smolensk, Russia. Our agents blew up the railway tracks in Smolensk, leading to an aircraft plant. This plant manufactures Kh-59 missiles for the Russian Defense Ministry, Atesh said. Atesh stated that they have confirmation that missile logistics have been disrupted. The plant produces missiles, drones, and other equipment. Furthermore, Ukraine was behind a recent operation that disrupted railway traffic in Russia and killed 3 members of the Russian National Guard. A source in Ukraine's military intelligence, HUR, told these railway lines are critical supply routes for Russian forces operating in the Kharkiv and Sumy directions, the source said. HUR and the Special Operations Forces reportedly carried out a uniquely complex operation that halted traffic on the Oryol-Kursk railway line in Russia. Russian railway personnel found unidentified mines on the Molokhangelsk-Glazunovka section. A specialized engineering unit from Russia's National Guard was sent to the site, but an explosion went off during demining, killing 3 soldiers and seriously injuring another, according to the source. The blast halted train service in the area. Oryol Oblast Governor Andrei Klitschkov also confirmed the incident. In a separate incident, another explosion targeted the St. Petersburg-Pskov railway line near the Stroganovo-Mashinskaya section. According to the source, the attack derailed a locomotive and destroyed fuel tankers filled with fuel. As a result of the damage to these rail lines, Russia will face serious logistical challenges, which will significantly impact its ability to conduct offensive operations against Ukraine's forces, they added. Ukrainian forces and pro-Ukrainian partisan groups have repeatedly targeted Russian railway and energy infrastructure through sabotage operations and drone strikes. These operations aim to degrade Russia's logistical capabilities and ability to supply the military with fuel materials, ammunition, and personnel.